Nolan Wells' mother subpoenas social media tech companies seeking answers in her son's death.
We want to move now to the latest in the Nolan Wells case. This afternoon, an attorney is looking to obtain information from all of the 18-year-old's social media accounts, including his messages and posts. That's according to our partners at the Sun Herald. They report attorney Gary Bufkin filed subpoenas from all of his social media accounts and his account on location tracking app Life360 in hopes of finding more information on what happened before Wells was found dead off the coast of Horn Island in Mississippi. That's after a boating trip with some friends. Some of the information subpoenaed includes IP addresses connected to the account's activity, all passwords, and all conversations. This comes after Bufkin sent intent to sue letters to Wells's friends.
Also, before we continue, we must correct ourselves. There's been a picture online circulating of Bart and who we allege and assume to be Katie McCormick. I'm hearing that that picture of Bart and the young lady was not Katie McCormick. Again, if we're wrong about any information, we will backtrack to correct ourselves. We do not want to spread any misinformation. However, we do not want to be quiet, and we do want to get justice for Nolan Wells. Also in the news, the grown man, Bart Edmiston, who has been accused of unaliving Nolan Wells over some girl, has lawyered up and denies the accusations that he unalived Nolan Wells over a girl. But before we continue, I got something special for y'all. You not gonna wanna miss this right here. We got Nancy Grace pressing race baitum Tatum. You heard that correct. Brandon Tatum was on the Nancy Grace show and he looked bad, y'all. Watch this.
What happened to Nolan? Now his mother, Christine, says when her son's phone was brought to the family, they had concerns because there were no pictures or videos on either of his Snapchat accounts. We've been trying to figure it out, but we're seeing through a mirror darkly. We don't know. But according to experts, a trail will be left if anything has been deleted, even if you delete it from the deleted file. Now, joining us, special guest, Brandon Tatum. You know him well. He's a former police officer with Tucson PD. That's what impresses me. What impresses a lot of other people is he is the star of The Officer Tatum. Officer Tatum, thank you for being with us tonight. Question to you. You interviewed, as we played at the get-go, several of Nolan's friends. Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
Well, Nancy, thank you so much for having me on. I spoke to 4 of the boys that are originally accused of being involved in Nolan Wells' death, and they did show me a lot of evidence.
Did they show you photos, videos, snaps of that day on Horn Island?
I want people to be very clear with this. I spent my career putting people in jail. My career is based on getting justice for people who have been done wrong. I've never been a defense attorney. So me going out and doing this was to find out what happened to Nolan Wells. And in talking to these young men, the burden of proof is they're going to have to prove to me. I'm not going to listen to what they say out of their mouth. They're going to have to show me. And in many cases, they showed me videos of Nolan on the island. They showed me videos of the boat when they were getting towed out, which is consistent with, you know, kind of similar to what the phone call was. I mean, they showed me pictures of them with Nolan. They showed me phone records of them calling Nolan's mom and all of the above. So they seemed very...
All that don't say shit. And they still don't have on the same clothes that they had on when they was with Nolan.
Consistent. They seemed very genuine. And they also proved to me some of the things that they had told me in the interview that I had with them that I have uploaded on my YouTube channel.
Officer Tatum, are you telling me that they had reception on Horn Island? Because many people are saying, well, the reason that there's nothing on Nolan's phone of that day, like there's no pictures, there's no snaps, there's no text, there's no anything, not because it was deleted, but because he didn't have reception. But you're telling me the other boys did have snaps photos, videos, and reception?
Yeah, no, Nancy, let me clarify this for you.
Don't stutter now, Ninja. Don't stutter now.
No.
Former prosecutor with nearly a decade of courtroom experiences. Former prosecutor. Nancy Grace is a former prosecutor. Rage Batum Tatum just said he never played a defense. That lets you know he's trying to defend the boys. Check it out, y'all.
It wasn't that they uploaded this online. They showed me videos and things that they took from the boat during the outing on 4th of July. I was personally out at Horn Island. I rode out there on a boat, and I didn't have great reception there. And I left my phone in the boat when I got into the water and we were actually going out to do interviews.
Objection. Objection. You've been in court long enough to know you're going to get objections. You said you...
She's not playing. She said, shut your ass up. You not used to this right here. You on my platform. Ain't nobody playing with you, boy.
didn't have great reception, but you did have reception, did you not?
No, there was reception there. It just wasn't great, and it wasn't great enough for people, in my opinion, to upload. You can make a phone call, potentially, but you wasn't going to upload data to a social media account. Now, could people take the steps to do it if they're dedicated enough? Yes, but it doesn't appear that would have been a frequent thing, given the fact that you probably had 1 or 2 bars out there. When I listened to the CETO call, you could tell that the call dropped out several times. It seemed like they were having trouble at times hearing each other. So it is consistent. And anybody that travel out there that have gone to the 4th of July celebration, they know that the reception is not very great. So the videos that they showed me in call logs were things that were not associated to social media, that they never posted on social media. It was, pictures and videos that they took on their phone.
Okay. Let me refine my question.
Uh-oh.
I take it from your last answer that the answer is yes, you had reception on Horn Island.
Yes, I did have reception on Horn Island.
She's a former prosecutor. Race Batum Tatum is so used to just throwing shit out there and just hoping it stick. You can't do that in front of a person that's going to press your ass.
We just played that CETO call. It's 2 words, SEATOW, and it's kind of insurance that people have that are boat goers. And if you have a problem, CETO will come and tow you back to the mainland.
Get them.
They said they had a problem. They said they were taking on water. One of your takes is that all the chatter that we're hearing, wake up Nolan, are you dead, Nolan, wake the F up, Nolan, could be referring to the battery, the bilge on the boat, that it's all unclear. Regarding the boat being disabled, apparently it was not.
At 9:56 a.m., the boat leaves the original dock.
What she's about to go over is, if they were sinking, why the hell did they do all this driving around in the boat if the bilge pump went out and if they were sinking? Understand, when they were speaking to that dispatch, she asked him, how far is the water in your boat? And he couldn't answer. She asked it, did it come up to the ankles? And he could not answer, y'all.
That from the real TikTok detective, the boat wasn't sinking. They told CETO it was sinking. What's the truth? Was it sinking and they repaired it? Did they have a leak and they repaired it and kept on SOP? Brandon Tatum joining us, former cop, now star of The Officer Tatum. Did the young man explain those travels we just identified?
Yeah, 100% they did that. I wish that people on the internet would have had an opportunity, and they can go look at the interview that I did with Warren, but they had an opportunity to actually talk to these young men to get this in perspective, because some people have no idea how boats function and how they work. They explained to me, they took me on a boat and showed me exactly where they went, where they docked, where did they, stop at, how did they get the bilge pump and the water out of the boat. and all of the above. So they were sinking. They were taking on water. The water came up high enough.
Did the young man explain those travels?
That the batteries weren't working. They had to get a tow to kind of tow them out.
Did the young man explain those travels?
Where you can see the young lady saying about 3 miles out. It's a complicated boat's jargon, but they ended up getting the boat out.
No, don't try to say nothing complicated. Go ahead and explain it. Since you want to be a damn defense, go ahead and explain what happened. What happened with the boat?
Ended up getting it to the point where they could run the boat, run the water out of the boat through a hole in the boat that they ended up plugging. They explained all this. Anybody that does boating know exactly what they're talking about if you hear them explain it on the interview. So they have an explanation for all of these things. And not only that, Nancy, they showed me video of them on the boat, and Nolan was not on the boat. Nolan was not on the boat log, and there are people who saw Nolan on the island closer to around 6 p.m., which is far after they left, far after this phone call was made. I saw text messages from the young lady that Nolan was with, the young lady named Katie. I saw her text messages. In her text messages, she say that she heard the boys yelling for Nolan to get on the boat. He did not. She said in her text message that she did not see Nolan get on the boat he came on, which was Wyatt's boat, which is the boat that was sinking and they ended up leaving on. So it wasn't just a statement that they made on a podcast. They were actually showing me evidence to the contrary of what the mainstream YouTubers and some media outlets are putting out to people at large. And so I wish that people would go watch the interview or at least take some time to listen to these.
We did listen to the interview. We listened to it and broke it apart and seen that he was lying. If you don't believe me, this is a former Army interrogator. He breaks down the interview with Nolan Wells' fake friend. He poked holes all through this joint.
I met his father, and I mean, in 8th grade, that's when Nolan and I got really close. It was COVID year, and we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies. And
we were in class all year long together, me and a couple of my buddies. Every time he mentions Nolan, I want you to notice that every time this guy mentions Nolan, he ropes in the friend group. He has to rope in the friend group because his relationship with Nolan is not this best friend, like a brother relationship that he's presenting it to be, which is why mom doesn't really know him, because really Nolan was just in the friend group, the general group of friends. It was an associative relationship, which is why the only way he can honestly give an answer right now is to rope in the friend group.
Nolan and I just got super tight because we'd get a Waffle House once a week together, eat, and I mean, we were just super, super close.
That's the first personal example he's given this entire interview, is them meeting at Waffle House. That's what a personal example looks like when you're talking about a friend.
But his dad would swing by Waffle House, and hang out around us, but never, I was never around Nolan's parents a lot, but I mean, that didn't change our relationship any. Nolan and I were still just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as, anyone else. So,
as anyone else, because it's an associative relationship. Me and Nolan were just as close, and he was just as close with my friends as anyone else. He always has to bring in the friends because it's a friend group associative relationship.
I just wanted to prove that people are watching the interviews, people are listening to what they got to say, and they see the lies.
Or at least Benjamin Crump would have taken the time to reach out to the lawyers or reach out to these young boys to get their statements, so they're not wasting their time sending everybody on a rabbit trail when they could have just talked to these boys. And they could have, but they refused. Because I saw a message from Warren where he called Nolan's mom twice. I've seen messages from Warren's stepmother, Ashley, where she sent Nolan's mom a text saying, please reach out to me whenever you're ready. I would like to talk. Other parents I saw messages from who reached out to Nolan's mom saying, we need to talk. Can we talk? I'm available if you need to talk to us. I do not understand at this point.
Why didn't he mention when Nolan Wells' mother stood on that podium and corrected herself and said they did reach out? Why didn't he mention that?
And she ended up calling me, and I think I spoke with the mother. She put me on speakerphone, and I was like, hey, yes, I'm Christine. I'm Nolan's mom.
Why didn't he mention that? Because he wanted to paint this negative picture around them. That's why, y'all.
Why Benjamin Crump would go out and put misinformation out online when he had the availability to talk to these kids and clear these things up like I did before he presented this to the public. We also reached out to Benjamin Crump 4 times. And on the 5th time, they come back and tell us that the family is not doing interviews. We didn't ask to talk to the family. We asked to talk to the attorney, Benjamin Crump. Why? So we can come together as a community and solve what happened to Nolan Wells, not create and stoke division, which is what I've seen from
Tatum,
Benjamin Crump.
That is exactly what we're trying to do. And I hear everything you're saying, and I think like a prosecutor. My main goal is to find the truth of what happened to Nolan Wells. And one thing I cannot get away from is the medical examiner. I'm trying to get to tonight's news, which I'm going to get to.
Let's go.
Randy and Bunny on TikTok have their interpretation of that. Watch this.
CETO Assistant, Vicky speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, we're at the west tip of Horn, and our bilge pump stopped working. We're sinking. Can y'all please come? We have a membership.
All right, of course. How far is the water coming up, sir? Can you give me a description? Ankles? Hello?
Hey.
Yes. How far is the water coming up, sir?
It's coming up. We're just sinking. I don't know. Like we're going down now.
That from Randy and Bunny on TikTok.
There is too big of a gap between when Nolan Wells passed away and when y'all did y'all interviews. Why did y'all wait so long? And now how all of a sudden y'all got dates, y'all got times that you continuously mention? A regular person is not going to be able to remember all these damn times. Y'all practiced with that judge allegedly with your stepmother, and now this is why you always repeating your dates. I want y'all to see how good she is.
Have the friends taken polygraphs?
Well, from my understanding, all but I believe one took a polygraph, and from what was told to me that they all passed, and all of the ones that took a polygraph took one without a lawyer, and they cooperated with law enforcement. So from my understanding, everybody took a polygraph test.
Why do you say that's from
but
what
one.
You understand? Did they tell you they took a poly and passed?
Yes, ma'am. They told me that they did it. I wasn't there, so that's why I'm saying from my understanding. They told me that all the boys except one, which is Warren, I believe, took a polygraph test. All of them did not have lawyers and did it and cooperated with police. Warren also cooperated with police. I just believe he didn't take a lie detector test, but Warren is the young man that I interviewed. So according...
One of the most important persons that we need to take a polygraph test didn't take it. This is all hearsay. We're going to get the truth on what happened to Nolan Wells. Check it out.
According to what they told me, they all took a lie detector test and passed. And it's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's not a traditional lie detector test, but it's the same theology of trying to get to if a person is lying. I don't know the name of it. It's an equivalent of a lie detector test. It's a different methodology. I don't believe it was a polygraph test. I believe they took other stressors in order to analyze.
So
she got him sweating.
The answer to did they take a polygraph would be no.
No.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
I think
Let's
it's
go.
semantics because they took a test to analyze whether or not they were being truthful in their statements, and that certified test, they passed it. It just wasn't considered a traditional polygraph. I think it's a more advanced way of doing it.
Tatum.
She not playing.
In a nutshell, Joe Scott, there is a difference between a polygraph, which measures all sorts of body signals, your sweat, your breathing, your heart, your blood pressure, all sorts of things, and an audio verification test. Big difference.
I'm going to go ahead and cut the video right there because I got a lot of editing to do. As y'all can see, I went past 27 minutes, and I want to get this video out to y'all before the night is over. But do y'all like the way Nancy Grace handled race baiting Tatum. I loved it. And this is what I like about professionals speaking the truth. Because you got a lot of professionals out there who was in a certain profession, but they refuse to use what they learned for the truth. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Nolan Wells' mom and the family getting subpoenas for the major social media sites. I love that, because when we get them involved, they are bigger than this. They are bigger than all of that Mississippi stuff that they're trying to perpetuate to the world, meaning all of that racism and all of that. These big social media people, they do not care about that. They care about making them damn trillions. And y'all let me know what y'all think about Bart illegal team coming out talking about he gonna come out and get everybody who's been putting Bart name in the video. Listen, we don't want to spread any misinformation, but what we will do is update the people on what they need to know, especially if we haven't got any answers as far as to what happened to our little brother Nolan Wells. Y'all get in the comment section. Y'all hype this video up. Make sure you subscribing. Big Kish signing out. I'm gone, y'all.